NHL Finals. Well, that hurt. Edmonton leads rematch 1-0. They win in OT. Florida had a 3-2 lead with pretty much the rest of the third to play, but they just lost it. I mean, will the Oilers win this time? We do got some video footage of the overtime winner right here.
Here's McDavid. Oh, Leon Draisaitl! The Oilers win game one.
Back to Nugent Hopkins. McDavid in front. Scores! Leon Draisaitl, game one hero. Nugent Hopkins kicks it back to Bouchard. Back to Nugent Hopkins. McDavid in front. Scores! Leon Draisaitl.
That's cute. That's cute. That was cute. That was cute. That was super cute, man. Do it again next game, then I'll be convinced. That was cute.
I mean, they controlled the majority of overtime, though. Florida had maybe the first 3 or 4 minutes, but after that, it was pretty much Edmonton's to lose. They had the majority of the attacking opportunities. I would even say they were a little wasteful in those last 15 minutes or so. There were a couple of chances that they had. They had a one-on-one with Bobrovsky in goal and just flat out missed it. I don't know what happened on that one, but
completely whipped it. That's all.
I don't know. That game might raise my concerns a little bit for Edmonton, even though they won it, just because they had a tough time closing them out, especially towards the end. Florida was exhausted in that overtime, and you could tell, but they were hanging in there for a while. So game 2 is going to be really interesting to see how Florida bounces back. But I almost feel a bit more confident in them, despite the 1-0 deficit now.
Quick question, Jalen. You worked in hockey, bro. What do you know? What kind of workouts they did? Like, you know how strength and conditioning. I don't know what hockey players do. I know they probably do something similar to football, basketball players to condition and strengthen themselves. Do you know what they do? Because as Chris just said, they were kind of exhausted. I know it's a long season, regardless.
I mean, they're top guys. They showed a graphic during the game, too. They played more minutes than even McDavid did for Edmonton. So I think depth might be an issue for Florida.
That is. I'll get to that in a second. I just wanted to ask you that, Jalen. Like, what kind of workouts do they do? Like, do you know? Something like that?
I actually don't. I mean, I think I've seen I think I don't know if they really work out too much. I think they do a lot of skating and a lot of hand work with the wrist and with the stick. But the workouts they probably do is something probably similar to football, not as strenuous though, because they're like a high power team. They have to basically have their bodies like basketball players because they're like running, they're sliding.
That's what I mean.
Up and down the ice and stuff. So it's probably something similar to basketball player because when they take all them pads off, there's some skinny guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I seen Clayton Keller when he got off all the gear. Muscle wise, I look bigger than him. Like, and it's wild. It's actually wild. Like when I seen him, I'm looking at him like.
But he's probably strong as hell. You know what I mean?
Strong as hell. I mean, he can definitely take a hit. I mean, he took a puck to the face.
I mean, if you look at Connor Bedard when he was drafted, he still looked like a little kid.
Bro, they gotta practice some type of boxing too. Like I don't know. I'm not a hockey player. I'm not experienced with hockey, like playing wise. I'm thinking in my head like they gotta be doing some crazy stuff. But anyways, back to the conversation. Yes, Florida has some depth problems. I noticed that around like the second, third period yesterday, and it was like they like you said, bro, they just looked a little gassed and they couldn't really keep up towards the end of the game. They obviously held in there and stayed in the game regardless. But like you said, Edmonton couldn't close them out, even regardless of them being tired. So just imagine if they were just like a little bit more woke, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit prepared for an overtime match, which I don't think they were.
I mean, not only that, they needed a power play at the end to even get rid of power play and some McDavid magic is what they needed. So if Florida just could have hung on to force a second overtime, there's a chance that off a counter attack or something, they're just able to catch Edmonton off guard. So that game was honestly as much of a toss-up as it could have been. And Florida got out to that lead, or Edmonton scored first, and Florida got out to a lead. Edmonton was able to claw back into it. But I think game 2 is just as much of a toss-up as that was.
McDavid assisted on like 2 of the last goals, and Draisaitl had 2 goals. And then Sam Bennett put up 2 for Florida, and Marchand had put up 1. But when you think about them two putting up 3 goals like that, you think Florida wins. But
right.
you got McDavid running around the ice like he always does, getting assists. That's going to mess you up badly.
I was sitting here watching the game. He hit the goal. I stood up. I said, "That's cute.
That's cute." Drew will be flaming you right now.
Nah, it ain't none of that, bro. It's game 1. I told you. What do I say every time? We do not overreact over a game 1. I don't care what sport it is. I don't overreact over a game 1. That was cute. Like I said, if the Pacers win tonight, I'm gonna say the same thing. That was cute. Do it again. I promise you they won't. Okay. So Florida, they're fine. They're gonna win in 6 or 7 games. I'm not worried. We're good.
We'll see. It'd be very interesting to see. I mean, it's
good.
What I will say is that they are some small human beings. People be like, "Oh my God, they're a hockey player. They're just built. They're probably jacked." No, they're not, buddy.
They got a lot of
That's
padding.
because of the conditioning.
Yeah, they got.
I mean, if you think about it, they're skating miles on miles every day, probably.
I'm like, it's literally like a marathon in hockey, like every single game, the way they're doing it, because they have to skate. It takes a lot more energy to skate than it does to run. So it's like, especially skate up and down, go fast, backwards. You know, you trying to score goals and stuff. I'm like, it takes a lot more out of you to skate and be a hockey player than it is to even run a marathon. So it's like, I'm like, they may not be, they're not the biggest human beings, but they are tough. Now the goalies are huge. The defensemen are huge. The forwards, they're kind of small. But
forwards are small. I realize that the forwards are pretty small. They're fast though, so it doesn't matter.
But they got to be fast.
I mean, that's the biggest thing when you're a forward is to be able to handle the puck well and then be able to skate past everybody. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, Cooley's extremely fast, and he's a small guy. So,
I wonder if
but the goalies are huge. I mean, the goalies are very big. Those are some big dudes. Like,
I want to see how much they squat, because I'm curious, bro. I want to know. I just want to know how they work.
Some videos out there if people want to look it up.
I'm gonna have some for either tomorrow or Tuesday. See if I can look something up. See if we can get some hockey workouts going. I might try some today if I can find some. Who knows?
It'd be interesting to see, for sure.